I used to do that at Rotary, and I'd ring the bell and everybody'd jump. Good morning, and welcome to the November Holiday Island Suburban Improvement District Board of Commissioners monthly meeting. We're glad to have you, the spectators, here today. Let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Secretary, would you do the roll call, please, sir?
Commissioner Sprott. Here. Commissioner Stamps.
Here.
Commissioner Brown.
Here.
Commissioner Rell.
Here.
Commissioner Pinkley. Here.
I declare a quorum. Y'all had a chance to look over the agenda?
Yes, I have.
Do I hear a motion to approve the agenda?
I make a motion we approve the agenda.
Hear a second?
Second.
Okay, any further discussion?
I was just going to question this, Chair. It says number 4, consideration action to approve the budget for 25 fiscal year. I didn't move to amend it, but we don't have to approve it today. We're talking about the budget, right? Mr. Chairman, I believe that's on there because it's a resolution, it has to be read twice at the meetings. We can read it today, and according to the regulations, you vote on it after the second reading.
Thank you. Okay, any further discussion of the agenda? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. The agenda is approved. Have the minutes of 10/28 regular meeting, have they been reviewed? Okay.
Second.
Approved in a second. Any further discussion on the minutes? Anyone see any change? Yep. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Minutes approved. Ceremonial. None? Announcements. Oh.
Peggy Lodewijk, 19 Bob White Lane, representing Holiday Island Rotary. Open invitation to our New Year's Eve party on December 31st at the ballroom. 7:30, doors open, 8 to 10. We have a 16-piece band coming in at 10 o'clock. We wish everybody a Happy New Year, and we all go to bed. And I happen to have tickets at $15 a ticket. Everyone's invited. Thank you.
Thank you.
15, you said?
Any other announcements? Public comments. I think we just almost did that, didn't we? Is there any public comments?
Peggy was the only one on there.
I've got a maybe from Peggy and a bunch of no's, so we're good. And I think she had her time. Any reports? Manager's report.
So they're still, Servpro is still cleaning on our kitchen. They took Friday off, so I'm hoping Tuesday evening they will be done with that, then we can move forward with that. I sent out, Golf Now sends us this review that we have. Now, 156 reviews, we scored a 93.3% on that review, which I'm pretty freaking proud of that part of it. Well 5. So Sunday morning, we were getting a volt error on well 5. So we called Dan got on the phone with Mr. Pump, tried diagnosing it, couldn't get to the bottom of it. Yesterday afternoon, Mr. Pump came out, and he thinks that from the lightning strikes last week, fried the wire going down to the well, so they're pulling it this morning to see if they can figure out the wire problem that's given us the false code of the volt failure. So hopefully, knock on wood, this evening, we'll have that problem taken care of. So, and if he can prove to me that it's a lightning strike, then we'll turn in on insurance.
Did it hit the well house? Is that what happened?
That's what they're thinking. They think it hit the,
Was there any sign of it?
well, that's what, he came yesterday and he thinks it's from a lightning strike. But as soon as he pulls the pump, he'll be able to tell from the wire if it was or not. But his thoughts is last week it was
It's running, but it's just giving you a false reading.
giving us a false reading. So it's kicking in and out. I mean, it runs, but then it'll just drop out. So,
Probably is a wire then.
yeah, that's what it's telling me is wire's arcing down there in the casing. But Mr. Pump, they're out in Missouri and they service all our pumps and everything here. His name's John. So hopefully this afternoon or this evening, we'll have that back up and fixed and going and we'll know for sure.
One comment on that, Rich, are there any other, we've been hearing about well 5 for about 3 years now. We've been hearing about well 5 for about 3 years, and it's gone from $1 million down to 0 and then back to some other figure. In this budget that we're going to talk about in a little bit, are we prepared, or does it need any work, and what if it does? Are we going out for bid for that, or what's the status on well 5, other than the bad lightning strike?
Well, I mean, well 5 is still up and going. And then, like I said, we're gonna get engineers in. My thing is, if he's gonna pull it, and if there's any sign of deterioration on that pump, which it won't be as bad as last time, because last time they took the turbine pump out, recased it, and then put in the submersible. So if they pull this thing and they're gonna get the pump out, and they take a look at it, and if it's gonna be, cost efficient to go ahead and drop a bigger pump in there while they got it pulled, why not?
Yeah.
And then that way we don't have to pay.
Rich, are we, if it's lightning strike, I'm sure we have insurance.
Yep, and then if it is lightning strike, we'll have to cover insurance, and we'll have to go back with the same thing that was pulled.
Right.
So that's our only thing.
Well, if it's a lightning strike, I mean, the insurance is gonna pay X many dollars, and then if we wanna upgrade it to something bigger, then we just have to pay the difference.
Yeah.
Is there any reason, Rich, why back a year or two before you arrived, that it was $1 million? That figure just is incredible.
So when this is what I've taken in from this, when they first looked at well 5, they were talking about building a whole new building, dropping a bigger well, and then doing all the wiring and everything in it. The building is fine. The well itself is fine. The problem is the booster pumps that we use are getting wore out. So we need to figure out if it's more cost effective to put in a bigger pump and get rid of the booster pumps, or leave the same pump and redo the booster pumps. And that,
a smart move, because that booster pump is gonna cost you probably the difference of what a bigger pump would cost you. 'Cause we've had, back in Nebraska, we had 4 wells or 5 wells, I guess, and we had lightning strike them. And basically, that's what we did on 2 of them, was we put in bigger pumps, but we were only pumping 250 feet.
yeah.
So that's a lot different than 2,500.
Yeah.
So you need a considerably bigger pump,
Well 5 is 1,800 feet deep, so,
yeah.
yeah.
So,
So now we're not building a building, we're just gonna refurbish the building that's there, because it's still good.
The building is in great shape. There's no
It's a
problem with that
hurricane-proof
building.
I mean.
You,
why
you
would-
couldn't build a new building and be any better,
No way, not even close.
no.
so
And that's why it was $1 million before,
Yeah.
because of the building, all new electrical.
So what you're saying, Rich, is after this episode and so forth, and the lightning and everything else you're going to do, maybe a change of pumps and power and so forth, that we won't hear about well 5 at all?
No, we won't hear about well 5 anymore.
Thank you. Because I didn't take a shower today, as everybody knows. Trying to conserve water.
Any other reports? All right, new business. Consideration and action to purchase a used Jacobson hybrid mower. We got quote from Jacobson. I got it somewhere. Anyway, it's one used Jacobson mower. It's a hybrid.
This is for the walk-in freezer.
Also help generate the electricity to run the reel. Reel is not hydraulic. And it's a used one.
18 hole, because there was consideration for two before.
Yes, it will be used on the 18 hole. The 9 hole, I think, is probably good with what it's got at this point in time. But anyway, we got bids from, he was able to obtain bids from Jacobson, Toro, John Deere, all of them, and this Jacobson is the lesser cost.
Mr. Chair, it says as is. Do you know the year of this? It says used, but do you know the year of this one, Rich? It's 4 years old. 4, okay.
Is it have they went through it and it's in top shape?
Yep. The only thing is they were gonna charge us extra for sharpening of the blades, where Eric at the maintenance shed there, he can do that himself, so we're saving a little money by sharpening our own blades. And then the lawnmower, or the mower that it's going to replace, the biggest problem is it's got a control manifold in it, and so you got your control manifold that disperses your fluids out, and inside there is a solenoid. Well, usually they break down and they fix that and just replace that solenoid. Well, that solenoid is discontinued now, so to replace that one control manifold was $2,100.
How much?
$2,100 for a $30 piece that's now discontinued, you can't buy. So now you gotta buy the whole manifold for $2,100. And then, of course, there's other stuff. There's 2 drive motors. Well, 2 drive motors is $3,000. So the cost effective, it'd be it'd be better to go with a 4-year-old mower to replace the one that has to have a whole bunch of work done.
And is 20 years old.
And it's 20 years old. And all the parts are discontinued.
Rich, the other one will be a 9 hole, and if there's hydraulic leaks, those will continue to be repaired on the other one.
The 9 hole has one, and it's in decent shape, and we're just replacing the worst one that we have at the 18 hole.
Are we replacing all the hoses so they aren't, and have them all made somewhere, not the manufacturer, but
Yeah.
so that we don't have this problem of leakage? If we do that every 5 years, those hoses will be fine.
Yeah. And that's the thing is the one that we're replacing has just been, it's just so far out of date and needs so much work, and we're still keeping the other one that, we can maintain, repair, fix.
We gotta have something to back up.
Yeah. And then Eric's also, we've taken out the golf carts that we had, the utility carts. We had 2 of them for the budget, but we're taking them out because Eric can take and switch motors around and get them back up and going. So we're able to take that out of the budget too. So,
What is the warranty on this used mower?
I don't know. I'm sure it comes with probably at least a year warranty on it, but I don't know for sure.
Well,
I
we gotta
doubt
find-
that. As is, I'll bet there's no warranty.
Probably not. It
yeah.
specifies as.
4 years.
It's as is.
Yep, you're right.
You turn the key and your warranty just ran out.
Well, if they looked it over and did some sort of a pre-buy inspection, we know what we're getting, and
Yeah.
if it fails, we gotta prepare it.
And it's coming off a 4-year lease, so you think they'd maintain it over the previous lease.
Now, the lease, what is the lease cost is for this $20,000 mower? What are they charging us for interest?
We're not leasing it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we're
We're
gonna
buying
buy
it.
it. Yeah,
We're
we don't
buying
wanna
it.
do any more of these leases at 13, 14%
Oh,
interest.
no. This one we're buying outright.
'Cause that's what the last one on that tractor was, because I ran the numbers month by month, and it was 13.34%.
Yeah,
they
that
charged
backhoe.
us. Yeah.
Yeah.
This year's budget, 24 budget.
We can do it either or. We can take it out this year, or we can wait and do it after January, whichever.
We have the funds, it doesn't make any sense to,
Yeah, it's 611.
Yeah, I mean,
Whatever
it's
you
all-
guys want to do, we'll do.
Well, I think we ought to have them do the mower, but we just tell them we're gonna to save it for us, that we'll take it after the first of the year. I think that's the plan we should be going on.
And that's the main thing, is that
We're not
they know
doing
that
it.
we're going to purchase it, and they don't sell it out from underneath us.
Well, that's, and, you know, if he has work that he needs to do on the blades and things, why not get it and let him get started on it? I mean, I don't see the value of postponing it for a year when we have plenty of cash to pay for it.
I don't
After the first of the year, I'll
Well,
make that a motion. Just purchase it after the first of the year. Tell them we'll take it. But- Well, I just think it's after the first year. We're not mowing the greens that are not growing right now anyhow. They mow
Well,
'em- they mow 'em
in the event
periodically.
that they, you know, typically when they have stuff like this, they don't allow it to be put on hold.
no.
You know, it's first come, first serve. If you want it, buy it. If you don't, move on. Somebody else will buy it.
That's exactly
I
right.
agree.
But
And
you-
we've already put it
Rich, you
off for
told
a
me you
month.
thought that they would hold it for us till after the first of the
If
year.
we tell them we'll take it, they will hold it for us. But if you look at the last page of that finances, I mean, we're actually doing very well right now with what we're saving, and we're actually gonna come out pretty good at the end of the year, even after revised budget, which we thought we were gonna be 122,000 negative. The rate we're going, we're still gonna have money left over. So it's, and yeah.
Get it for him, let him get it started.
Then
let
we
him-
can
let him
reduce
get the work
taxes.
done on it.
Yep. We have the funds to purchase it right now if you want to.
Well, I would say if they won't hold it, we buy it now.
I
If
think-
they say, we've got somebody else interested, then I think we ought to just buy it and be done with it.
Exactly,
Well,
and if we're gonna have to sharpen the blades,
He's still got
that
February
takes
and
a little-
March.
that takes a little time to do. It
Yeah,
does not-
but January, February, and March is not doing a whole lot of greens mowing.
No.
Well,
Yes, Mayor.
Just Dan Keys, 120 Holiday Island Drive. You said that the reels drive off of batteries?
yeah, hybrid.
What's the age and condition of the batteries of the unit you're buying? Because 4 years old is probably about the end of the life of the batteries, if these are the original batteries.
It's power over battery.
It's
I mean,
power over.
it's not like your hybrid car. The hybrid part of it means they got rid of all the hydraulic oil, and they're running at power over gears, not batteries.
Any further discussion on the mower? Do I have a motion to purchase it, or a motion to delay the purchase, or what motion do?
My motion was to tell them we'll take it, and we pay for it after the first of the year.
Okay, we have a motion to purchase it after the first of the year.
If they agree to that, otherwise we'll have to purchase it.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor of that motion, signify by saying aye.
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 Rich, are they delivering this machine to here?
Now, that motion required to check and see if they will hold it for us. If not, we'll buy it now. Right?
That's exactly what I
Okay,
said.
just wanted to clarify that.
I'll have Tyler check on it, and if they say, no, you gotta purchase it now, I will send out an email to everybody to let you know what the situation is.
Thank you.
Well, I think being the time of year, we're not going to get any better deal. I guarantee you the price today is much less than it would be in the middle of July.
Oh, yeah.
So I think we're wise in buying one at this time of year.
Well, it needs to be purchased. I mean, we need the new equipment, regardless of when we pay for it, when we buy it. The used equipment, excuse me.
Okay, we have a motion, we have it, that's been approved. The next consideration is action to purchase a walk-in freezer for the clubhouse area. We have prices on that, we have prices on that.
You bring this up and I'll comment.
Buried that.
Yeah.
There we go.
So this is on just the walk-in freezer. It's not a combo, because Amanda Hiddle said you just don't want to do a combination because it's too hard on the fluctuation of the temperature, so just do the walk-in freezer. Because we've got, I think there's 6 residential freezers up there that we can get out and free up room. So the purchase, installed, turnkey, ready to roll out the door is $34,002. That is just the walk-in freezer alone.
We purchased a walk-in freezer, I did, for business I own, and we purchased a used one, and we're right at $10,000. There's a lot of them on the market.
Rich, I have a question as to why we're paying $1,000 shipping and $12,000 installation.
The biggest problem is where I want to put it outside, the pumps have to go up over, the pump has to be on the other side of the kitchen door where the other condensing units and everything are, and then piping it up over and then moving up the gutter and some other stuff to get it where we want it. So the installation part, and plus, you know, they're big, heavy panels, so you got to pay shipping on getting it here.
Where are we gonna put this freezer at then?
So when you walk out that kitchen door, it's gonna be, as soon as you walk out that kitchen door, it's gonna be just to the left. Where their golf cart sits all the time?
Yep.
Underneath that eave, it's gonna sit right there.
Move that golf cart, and that's where it's gonna sit.
It's gonna sit. But the condensing unit has to sit on the other side. where the
Have
other-
we checked into a used one?
No, we have not.
Have we checked with any competitors to this?
This is the one that SG or SCG Foods gave me, and this is one I just checked on first.
Well, I have no problem with the price of the unit. I just have a hell of an idea of $12,000 to install it. As a construction estimator, I can say that that's a hell of a lot of man hours. I just don't see that. I see them coming in from out of state or somewhere else, putting their guys up in a hotel and paying them a per diem and all that, and that's how they justify 12 grand. My question is there anybody locally that will install it? We just buy it and have it shipped here and have someone else, a contractor, install it.
I mean, in that case, we could find a different one. I mean, you can buy these for, I've been looking at them brand new for 15,000.
Well, I was gonna say, I bought one
Yeah.
for a
And then
little over 10.
We could talk to
It's
Island.
2 years old.
We could talk to Island Airco and see if they could do it. Get a bid from them. There's several different ways we can go at this.
I think we ought to look around a little bit, because I think this is pretty high.
Well, I don't think it's a thing that we have to decide today. The restaurant's closed anyway,
It
so
is
it's.
absolutely not, yes.
But I think that if we can save 10 grand on this thing, we ought to do it.
Well, Fellers is in Springfield, so they're not shipping anybody in from the long distance. The problem, we have a health department issue that needs to be resolved.
First, we gotta get the restaurant open. That's through the health department, but it doesn't say we have to have a walk-in freezer.
And he said, well, we need temperature control on our equipment. Yes, we do need,
Yeah.
we do need.
We
That
have-
was one of our write-ups, was the temperature difference on the refrigerators and stuff.
You can buy those upright units. I had one upright unit that went to 40 below, and it had 2 big doors in it, and you could buy one of them brand new for about $4,000 to $5,000.
Yeah, but doesn't have the capacity that.
Well, but 2 of them would have that place, for what food they sell, 2 of them would be adequate for that place.
I think we're being penny wise and pound foolish.
We can get more estimates.
I
That's
don't
not-
have a problem with
Yeah,
that.
we can get better estimates, we can see who else is out there. This
I
is just
think
the
that
first
would
one.
be in order.
Yeah.
Well, I think if we're spending 34,000, we ought to get a second look at it. Somebody else got a number, maybe theirs is 22,000 or 28,000.
I'll do some checking on it.
Okay.
We ought to talk with those air conditioning guys that, right up on 23, up there too. Because I think they certainly have some connections.
Rich, I was wondering, Mr. Sheriff, Rich could fill us in on what the progress is on the cleanup of ServPro, where we are now.
They worked on it there last week. They took Friday off because they had their company Thanksgiving party, so they're back up here this week. And they told me they were gonna be done today or tonight, but after taking Friday off, I'm gonna say more likely tomorrow.
Okay.
The cleanup is actually going very well. They've got most of the appliances cleaned, the vent hood, they've gotten amazingly clean, so. we're getting closer.
What's the plan after they're completed?
After they are done, I will get a hold of Amanda and Gary, and we'll go down, do an inspection, make sure that it's good to go, and then we're gonna get it going again. we're gonna have to order some more food, and then probably have Kelly will be running it, the kitchen part of it, until we can get some more help.
Are you gonna put a new floor in? The floor is pretty bad, tile.
And I'm looking into the floor, and that's another thing, I went down and measured that ballroom, or the pro shop in the basement, and it's only 1,000 square feet, so it wouldn't take.
1,100.
Yeah, it wouldn't take much to put flooring in there. So,
Well, and I looked at that as well, and I guess it's, you say the flooring, where do you want to stop it? Because it kind of winds its way around, and,
So I was gonna stop at the hallway.
because it goes all the way back to the kitchen.
Yep, and I was gonna go all the way back to the kitchen, but I wasn't gonna do that little office area off to the side there.
Yeah,
But I was gonna do the main area in the hallway, and I was gonna stop at the kitchen and not do the closet or that office area. That's where I came up 1,000 square feet, which the vinyl, floating vinyl plank, you could do it for about $4,000. That's what
do you
we-
recall what the floor is in that office right there?
It's carpet too.
It's carpet
It's all
now?
carpet.
Okay.
I also, Rich, had a question. As long as we're doing that, it sounds like a good plan. But some of the benches, when I went up there and looked at it that first day with you, I said, well, I'll paint them. But restaurant people say that you should have stainless steel, and you can get them used for like $100 for something this size. And the cooks are working over here at the grill, right behind where they prepare and so forth. You can get all kinds of stainless steel with rollers for $100, $200, rather than painting and have old wood, you know. So as long as we're doing it, and we're looking for a manager, and we're looking for a total redo of the place, as while it's closed, we might as well do everything we need to do and get it top shape, in my opinion.
Did we ever get a clarification, now that Gary's here, maybe we can get a clarification on what we need to do to the simulator room?
Can we finish up this part?
Gary, no, I'd like to hear from Gary if,
We can do that here towards the end.
oh, okay.
I mean,
Let's get through
let-
the
let-
four
let's-
things, then we'll go,
Yeah,
we'll do that in the public comments, probably.
we're getting way off track.
All right, walk-in freezer.
Okay, we got the walk-in freezer, and we're gonna do some more research on that, right? Okay, right.
Okay, then I move that we postpone
table, okay.
action on number 2, the consideration of the walk-in freezer.
Do I hear a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We've discussed it enough, I think.
And discuss.
Okay, we received, and my computer wouldn't let me look over them, but anyway, the October financials. And at first glance, they look pretty doggone good.
Look real good.
I'm quite pleased with them. But again, my AT&T, they've got a new system that they're coming out with. It's called Air Internet, as opposed to hardwired internet. And I've got hardwired, and it's been acting up now for about 6 weeks. My TV will go off, and it hypnotizes us while we're sitting there in our easy chair. And then it'll come back on and wake us up. But I turned it on this morning, and it's back in the hypnotized mode. And so therefore, it's a mess. But anyway, long story short, I thought they looked very good.
Yeah, I agree. I was just looking here through October. It looks like we had real good receipts on our levy payments for the assessment of benefits, plus our 657 that's sitting in there. So, you know, we've got well over $2.5 million, or $1 million, excuse me, $2.5 million in cash.
Okay. Do I hear a motion to approve the financials?
I'll make a motion, we approve the financials.
I've got a motion to approve the financials. Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
October financials are approved. Consideration action to approve and look over, or action to approve, this is kind of a reading of the 2025 fiscal year budget. Discussion. We're going to wait till the end. Okay. I have not seen the budget.
Chair, do you want to go through department by department, or how do you want to proceed? Whatever question you have, or...
I'll take it from the floor, whatever y'all want to do.
Rich, I know you've had, since you've been here 7 months, you've had a lot of challenges, budget and everything else, but I know you've made the cuts from last year, I think it was July. We asked Jennifer, was sitting down there by Stephanie, and said, do we need to make cuts? And he said, yes, sir, and you did it. I'm not sure where those cuts were made, but then she sent us another printout, and it showed that last year's versus our proposed 25 budget, which was real helpful. I'm wondering about the fire department, and I think we've got a great fire department. It's not going to be a complaint about anybody at the fire department, okay? Just everybody get that clear. But we spent a tremendous amount of money in the last year and a half. And I voted for every one of them that I could vote for, but where are we now, and is this going to slow down a little bit and level up?
Yeah, our biggest challenge right now with the fire department is our air packs.
Air pack?
Air packs. So the air packs are outdated. I mean, this should have been on a 5-year plan to start updating these, and now we are in hurry-up mode. So we're gonna try and figure out how to replace the air packs in a 3-year plan, where it should have been a 5-year plan and done by now. So this is what we're working on now. Besides that, the fire department setting financially is okay. And if you look on the last page of the finances, if you look back at the fire department, in February, March, they were spending $60,000 each month. And now we're at $30,000 for August or September and October. I mean, we have cut the expenses in half. So the fire department's doing well. We do need to investigate whether we can hire the 3rd full-time guy. And then we need to also, which I think next month in the work session, John did a video of where he went on a call during the week without any part-timers there. And he was at the fire scene for 15 minutes, setting up the truck, hooking up the lines, powering up the pumps. And he had to yank the hose out of the homeowner's hands because the homeowner's like, hurry up and do something. And he was setting all this up by himself before he even could get water on the structure.
Okay.
So this is 2 more part-timers would help out, and then the full-timer position filled in would help out.
Okay.
So we, hopefully next month's work session, we will be playing a video of this so that way you guys have a visual of what's going on.
Good. Another question or a comment. The mayor's here. Bryce is here, going to be installed in a week or so. Holland, and we're all.
No, I think Phyllis corrected me on that this morning.
We can install it.
We can install him, but he doesn't go on the board until the 31st of December.
Okay. But the reason I brought that up is we attend, or at least I attend the city council meetings, and today we have 2, a council member and mayor who's always here. And the reason I bring this up is we have wanted to have a meeting between this group, the BOC, and the city council members. And I think Mayor Dan set it for one date, and it never happened. I think it was the 19th of October or something like that. Anyway, it's hard to get 11 or 12 or 15 people together, but I sure wish that we would have been able to do that, and maybe in 2025 we would. The reason I bring it up is at the city council meeting, they have been discussing the fire department and whether the city would have one or not have one, and if the city has one, how much money they've been giving us, which would be really appreciated. But I've been concerned about our, and I guess been concerned needlessly about our assessment, the assessment amount of $838. And I got a note from Jennifer, and I questioned that, and she said, well, this budget that we have here for 25 would be the same $838 on a home on a paved lot, which most of us have here. We didn't reduce it at all. And one of the things about reducing was to make HICID last longer, and you all know that whole story. But in talking to Wes Stilley, Bruce Larson, and a lot of other people who are much more knowledgeable about it than me, we could do okay for about 20 years at that rate, which would be around, and I'm not going to go into the details because of the lawsuit, but I guess what I'm saying is that the city council is trying to do what they can and within the limits of their law of how much they're able to contribute to the CID. And I thought that would be a good topic of discussion if we ever had one. And other people say, no, we don't need 12 people together in a room. But we're going along. We have the city that's been formed for 4 years. We've had the CID that's been for, what, Larry, 60 years, something like that. It doesn't seem like when I go to a meeting, or if any of you go to a meeting, we can get up at the podium and speak to the city council, but really, we need to be a little more cohesive, in my opinion. And if we go on for 20 years and we still have the CID and still have the city, then there's, speaking about the fire department, it's probably the most expensive thing and probably the most important department that we would have here, saving lives. So I'm a little concerned, not that we're overspending, but can we get any other help, like from the city? And they've been giving that help, but how long can it continue and at what amount?
I want to back up and go back to the thing about the swearing in and all that. I thought we had this all set up.
About the what?
We have a date. He'll be sworn in on whatever that December day was. The term of the boards run through December 31st. So Larry is on the board until.
Where does it say that?
It's in the regs.
When did he take office? My point is, if he took office like the 5th of December and he gets taken out on the 5th, he's served 1 year. The only way he would serve to the end of the year is if he was sworn in on the end of the year. He serves a calendar appointment for a specific time.
It suits me. I'll tell you that right now.
Well, I'm just saying.
It damn well suits me. The sooner I get off of here, the better off
I've
I'll
seen
be.
nothing in the regulations that say that your term expires on December 31.
Once he's sworn in as a member. And that's always happened before. I've been on the board 8 years. You have the election Tuesday night. The ladies in here do a great job of finding the totals. They put them out on the internet. It was the next day. Now it was maybe a week later over a couple of different years. But it doesn't go till December 31st because there are no meetings after that meeting where he or she would take over.
Well, there probably
It's
won't
Christmas.
be a meeting anyway.
It's Christmas time.
Probably won't
We're
be a
not meeting.
December meeting anyway, since you mentioned that. Because it's, our December meeting would be on the 23rd, and that's the day before Christmas Eve. I would guess that we'll be canceling we could conceivably have a workshop on the 16th. But I would assume we're going to cancel our meeting for December because of Christmas. Okay. Yeah,
I think
I don't know if, I don't.
I'd like to see that regulation. Have the gals bring that regulation up here for the 31st. I don't believe that, because I've been on boards for 30 years. And I'm telling you, when you're sworn in, you're in.
Okay, you're fine. I mean,
I don't care.
conceded.
Well, the issue is, we've got a lot of budgetary things to meet about yet this month. If he's sworn in on the 6th, or we're meeting with the
Ms. Reagan.
Cindy Reagan on Saturday the 7th,
He needs to be there.
we're going to have a special meeting after that to get the budget done.
Right.
So I say we're going to be very busy, and if Bryce needs to be involved in the new budget.
I agree.
Whatever.
There were 3 years, Phyllis, I'm not going to belabor this, but there were 3
Yes,
years
you are.
when you were chair and the 2 before, where it was delayed a week or more. But the other years I've been here, and Mayor, maybe you can correct me, or agree with me, it was usually a day or two after, because then the person who's leaving, and we usually have two, now we only have one, that they were out. They were out. Their 3 years was done, unless they ran for reelection and got reelected, but they still had to swear the oath and sign the document and get it over to the county. So, and that's what Larry would do. He would end his term, 3 years, thank you for your service, and Mr. Holland would take over. It's just, that's the way it is. I think it's in the reading of the code. I have it at home and I don't have it in front of me.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to go back to the budget.
Okay?
Okay, all right.
In reviewing the budget for next year, or even for this year, we have to deal with the wages in the administrative department. We're spending $316,000 a year in administrative fees. That's got to be reduced. It's one of the highest, it's the most expensive department we have. And here we're beating up the fire department over their money, and we're wasting it in the office. I shouldn't say wasting, but I think we're using a lot of money in administrative that ought to be used in the fire department.
I think it ought to go back into property owners' pockets.
Or lower the AOVs.
Because that's where it's coming from.
Well,
Anyway, there's plenty of time to discuss the budget.
Yes.
we're
And I think-
around 250 on.
Well, it's got to be done before the 31st of
We're
December.
around 250, looking at Jennifer's
Yep.
So
summary.
we got to get this thing done.
Say that again, Phyllis?
Just run
Line
it
by
through.
line.
I like this report that Jennifer sent us that shows the 24 budget, the revised 24, and the draft for 25. And she sent us that a few weeks ago. And wages for administrative is 324. Wages for general fund, nobody gets paid. Wages for water and sewer is 260. Wages on fire, 273. Wages on roads, 210. Meeting room, there's,
So what's the most expensive department?
and where do you have 4 people doing constant work? Have you sat next to them to see the hours they put in and the jobs they're responsible for?
Listen, I worked in a company, we did $40 million a year, and we did it with about 6 women. And I know how hard they work, but that's their job. That's what they signed up to do.
And that's what our office staff is doing, and, you know,
My point is, we had 10 times larger budget with the same amount of people.
well,
We got $4 million, and it cost us $320,000
To administrate.
to administer it.
Rich, I have a question on that, Mr. Chair. If we're increased the administrative, we didn't give any raises this year. I mean, you started this year, but there were no raises of other people. I mean, our salary, we're going to discuss this later, for all 57 employees, but there were no, or were there, I guess that's the question. Were there increase in the administrative, this building, or not? Okay, so.
we did cost of living at 2.5% last year.
Yeah, we did.
So where would the increases come this year in administration? What would be some of the increases that would be?
Shouldn't be any increases. We're not, I mean, we haven't discussed pay raises at all yet. We did all the job evaluations, got done Friday.
Good, thank you.
We haven't discussed any increase in wages, so them numbers aren't even based off of with a pay increase of 2.5 or 3% for employees.
Let
The
me-
line has actually gone down because you went 4 months without a district manager, so you didn't have insurance, or you didn't have retirement or anything else that you had to pay in for them 4 months. So the administrative line actually for this year went down, and then, of course, it's gonna go down for next year because some of us aren't at the same pay rate as previous district managers.
According to Jennifer Head, in this letter that all of us got, for fiscal year '22, everybody got a 7.5% raise.
Right.
Then in 2023, they got another 8% raise. In 2024, they got another 3% raise. I don't know of any company in the United States that does this kind of raises.
18%.
It was, the big ones were for cost of living adjustment. Those were the 2 years when inflation was so high. And the board at the time, and we agreed unanimously as a board, that we needed to keep up with the rate of inflation and cost of living adjustments for the employees.
Inflation was at 8% last year.
2020,
2023, they got an 8%
21.
raise.
23,
When Trump was in, inflation was not 8%. And it's going to be a heck of a lot less come December, January.
So what,
I'm
You
just
don't
saying
put
that
in writing?
in
You don't put that in writing?
Yeah.
in
The
two,
check with the
3
check.
years, they've gotten
Yeah, let's put that in
18%.
writing.
so I'm going off hearsay because I wasn't here in 22 or 23 or, you know. So what I was informed was they didn't have cost of livings for 3 years prior to that. So then they did two big adjustments to bring them back up to where they needed to be.
18%.
Yeah, but that's just what I was told
I don't
through.
Well, I'll check into it and see how far the raises go back, because I recall Bob Dyer sitting right here one year, not very long ago, saying we gave him 3% because we hadn't given him a raise in 3 or 4 years.
yeah, that would have been the.
So that now we're up to 21% raise in about 5 years.
Yeah. You know,
No, that was in 21. 22, they got 7.5%. I'm just saying, these raises have got to come more in line with the consumer price index,
and
as opposed to just throwing these arbitrary 8% raise. I don't know of anybody that got a raise of 8% in any group in 2023.
Well, I think there's going to be plenty of time to discuss the budget, okay? So, we're doing,
I thought this, on this item, I think it's consideration and action to approve the budget. Well, we're not going to approve it, but consideration means to talk about it.
talk about it.
Right. Well, I didn't finish what I was about to say about the fire department and the city. Mayor, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not, you've got a really good memory, but there's, and Chief, you were over there the other night at the city council, and we're talking about radios. Rich brought up packs, air packs and stuff, but the city is giving a lot of money. Was it 54,000? That's sort of in my head. 54,000. So the reason I bring these things up is the city is helping us. The city is helping us with this budget. And it may be, and they're talking now, maybe even 100,000. You know, maybe it could be more. So if we keep getting that help from the city, wouldn't it be prudent for us to say, let's tamp our budget down a little bit? Can we help the homeowner with $800 a year instead of $838? I hear that a lot from people on Social Security only, that do something for me. Please help me. $38 must not be a lot to me, but it might be to some homeowner. I don't know.
that kind of a change, because you have to do it across the board. We can't just drop one class of property. Would cost us about $90,000 on our budget if we reduced the levy by 4.15%, which is what you were suggesting.
But
It
we
would
didn't
cost us $90,000.
We didn't even say $5. Let's say we go from $838 to $830. Let's take $8 off the table. Can we look at any kind of a reduction, or or next year we're gonna go up more and more, or stay the same? You know, if you wanna stay the same, I guess, according to CPA that I talked to, and very knowledgeable, we'd be here 20 years. So those of you who are 45 years old, or 35, Stephanie, you'd be, you're 29 years old, you'd be here still, and there wouldn't be any more Sid. Okay. Enough. But the fire department is getting help from the city of Holiday Island and the Suburban Improvement District. And we're doing our best to keep it first class, okay? But how much can we afford out of here? I guess we've got enough, because you said we have $2.5 million.
Yep.
Phyllis?
You agree with that, don't you?
Okay, so we got budget work to do.
Are we gonna have a work session for the budget?
And what date are we gonna?
I think isn't that what we're planning on for December 7th is the work date for the budget?
Right.
I didn't hear that part.
December 7th is our work date.
Work date
Yeah,
for the
the
budget.
budget.
Oh, that's
But
a
also-
Saturday.
Yep.
But I think we could get some done now. I'd like to talk about a couple other areas, Mr. Chair. One is paving. Rich, we haven't put any money in paving. We had the big, great contract on Hawk Lane, Hawk Drive, and State Line. Wonderful. Thank you for getting that done, Mayor. But we had Danube, and there was 3 other streets besides Danube, and my memory is not very good, but we had, I don't know, a couple $100,000 a year, and then we're told, well, there's a lot of leaks on Danube and those other 3 streets that are up there near Table Rock Drive. So if we paved them, and we're gonna pave rather than the chip and seal, then if we went to replace the pipe under those paving, we just lose that $250,000, and if we did that every year for 3 years, it's $750,000. So are we gonna pave any streets in Holiday Island in 2025? And if so, where is it in the budget?
There has not been a chip and seal project done for 3 years now, and we have to figure out how to do a chip and seal project. That is going to be in the capital improvement side of it, which none of the stuff, we have not put any capital improvements parts of this in the budget yet.
Okay, now, this may be, I'm pleading ignorance here, but Phyllis just said $2.5 million in this budget that we could spend.
No.
Tell me
I said-
what you said again.
There's $2.5 million cash money
Cash.
in our money market fund,
Okay.
plus our 657 in the restricted major projects fund.
Okay.
That's real
Can-
dollars
no,
in our checking account.
Just teach me, this is a teachable moment, okay? I know a lot about education, but not finance, so you can help me, you're a
I
banker.
will, I'm sorry, I
Okay?
didn't mean to.
There's
be-
$2.5 million and we can cash, there's cash reserves here, cash money, not reserves. If we want to spend $250,000 on blacktop, asphalt, not chip and seal, of those 4 streets that I can't remember the name, and it was $250,000, where would that money come from with this budget?
Well, from the email that Jennifer sent us, there's about, her budget projection showed an excess of $276,000 that would typically be assigned to vehicle purchases and capital improvements. So that's the capital improvements number that we would have available in the budget. Is that correct?
We talked about this, and Randy mentioned Mr. Dyer early. Bob said, I think we have more trucks than we have drivers in some of our departments.
Well, we're
We've
not
bought several pickup trucks in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, how can we say we're not going to dedicate anything to asphalt 3 years in a row, none, but yet we have streets that are very, not good. I drive it a lot. I purposely go around and drive.
I thought this year there was going to be some paving done from the main entrance up to Country Club.
Yeah.
And also on Woodsdale. But that didn't come to, that didn't happen. That's next year's plan for the city. Okay.
2026, right, or?
2026 or 2025?
2026, if the funding, 2025, if the grant money, if the grant program is funded next year. I plan on doing the Holiday Island Drive part of it regardless, but that's not grant related. The Woodsdale is grant related. Last time I talked to the RDOT engineer, he said the way the funding is coming in, it's likely the project will get approved for 2025, but might not get funded till
pay for the voucher system. Okay, and, all right, we have discussed the budget. We got a work day set for December the 7th for that. Public comments.
Do we need a motion to postpone the budget approval?
Do we? I don't, well, we're not really doing anything on it.
Well, we had the first reading of it, so we need to do a vote on it.
Okay, all right. Do I hear a motion for a vote concerning the budget on the first reading?
I'll make a motion.
And do I hear a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Passed. Now, public comments. All right, commissioners' comments.
Yeah, I wanted to talk to Gary about the clubhouse in the basement down there at the. Gary, we're talking about the ceiling where the golf simulator is. Could the walls be extended up to the bottom of the bar joist and then sealed off that way, or does it have to have a ceiling?
I'm not a construction person by no means, but just looking at that, there's so many different pipes, and I think there's other support beams up in there that you would have to cut out and around. Just for me looking at it, I think it would be simpler to put a ceiling in there. Otherwise, you're going to have to be cutting around all kinds of different other pieces of structure that's in that room area.
Talking about a drop ceiling?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I looked at it, and I agree with you. I think
Yes, sir.
that's probably the most economical way to do it. Do you have an issue with that if we just put a drop ceiling in that room?
As long as we got the proper fire-rated tiles in it, I don't see an issue with that at all.
I looked at those tiles. Most all of them have that fire rating.
Yeah, most of them, I think you can get a package of, I think they're very reasonable package of how many, 10 or something for like $100 or whatever, but.
Oh, they're
this-
even cheaper than that.
Yeah, that was just me one day quick scanning on Amazon. But yeah, I'm perfectly okay with a drop ceiling in there, just as long as it's got some kind of fire resistant to keep it from getting into that crawl space.
Does it
Radix
interfere
space.
with the flight of the golf balls on the simulator?
No. I never went and measured that similar. I was down there last week, but I never went in and measured that simulator and how much room we have between the top rail and the top of that simulator. Did you ever go down and measure that?
No, I didn't either, but when I look at the budget and I see that we sold a whole $83 worth of sales last year on that simulator, I don't know if that's a high priority.
No.
The ceiling is a high priority, and we'll get that
That
done.
We need to get the ceiling, and we also need to be where we can better access the electrical panels behind the simulator. There's a network of.
Yeah, I don't know what
piping.
that stuff is. That
I
PVC
can't-
pipe, I didn't see any rhyme or reason why it's even
It makes no
there.
sense to me, but it interferes with us getting to the electrical panels in an emergency.
I agree.
And the simulator itself is as wide as it is, we got to kind of shimmy through there. I mean, we can make it, but then we get back in there, we got to crawl over, under, or through that. PVC
We'll
pipe.
get all that out of
Yeah.
there.
Why don't
My
we just,
suggestion would be put the golf simulator on Purple Wave and get rid of it.
well, I think that's number one, those are all outdated in the first place. And secondly,
Well, and
you can
trash-
be like in my garage, I have a 10 by 10 by 10 net with mats in front, and you can hit golf balls all day in it, and they don't go through the net, and you can walk around all of those, and then you can buy a tablet to put in there, and you can use that, which all the pros do, and I think if we're gonna hire a pro, then we need to let him talk about what he thinks is needed and what he thinks not is needed.
That's exactly right.
As long as the clearance is
Yep.
10 feet, then I guess that.
Because I don't think it's being used to any amount at all.
No, I mean-
It's just,
The answer to the question is, the clearance is if you get by one that's 10 feet tall, then you measure and make sure there's 10 feet clearance on the new room.
We don't have 10 feet down there.
Okay.
I don't believe we do,
mean, that's-
I guarantee you, all we're gonna get out of a ceiling there is about 8.6.
at best, yeah.
Because of all the low-hanging, there's HVAC lines, there's AC, there's all kinds of stuff there.
Yes, sir.
What other issues do we have in the clubhouse aside from the simulator room and the kitchen?
That's the company phone, so I apologize. I have to go back and look at all my notes, but I know down in the Down in the simulator room, I believe there was an exit sign that needed to be updated. There was a fire extinguisher that was expired, but that can be taken care of with Marmick. One other concern I've got that we've addressed with them, the ballroom, several times I've been in there and the ballroom was being occupied and the exit doors were locked. They've been doing pretty good lately, but we got to make sure that those exit doors are all unlocked while that ballroom is occupied, because that's fire exit. They have to be unlocked, where all they have to do is push that door open.
And they're locked?
So people just forget to lock them. If I'm in there and I see it, I'll unlock them. Last time we was in there, I attended the auxiliary dinner. I checked them; they were open. It's just something that needs to be remembered. It's easy to forget.
Checklist.
Do we need signage on the doors?
There's signage on the doors now. Yes, it is on the doors
We
now.
need a checklist
The
for whoever
staff,
set
the
it
staff
up.
was informed of this.
Yes.
So now they are, when, they know as soon as they unlock that ballroom door, they go straight back and unlock the other two doors.
Okay.
But I believe there was some issues in the library, or the mechanical room. There were some issues with fire access into attic space, floor space. I'd have to, like I said, we'd have to go back and look at the notes. I don't have those with me, but we do have, Rich, a full list of issues that we found with the clubhouse as a total.
Well, I guess what I'm asking is, aside from that ceiling, which is a pretty major issue, as is the kitchen in the clubhouse, do we have any other major issues, or are they all pretty minor?
I believe once we address the issues in the mechanical room also, like I said, to go back to my notes, everything else is fairly easy to fix, I believe.
Okay.
Yes.
The mechanical room was patching of the sheetrock around the ductwork.
Yes.
Say that again?
The mechanical room was patching of the sheetrock around the ductwork. So there's gaps, 6-inch gaps.
And we can actually fill that with a
Yeah,
fireproof
you
foam?
You can get fireproof foam or sheetrock around it, however you deem best to do it.
Well,
You can get fire-resistant foam put in there.
Yeah. The exit sign in the restaurant area need to be replaced, which I don't think it's been done yet either.
Yeah, I haven't been down there to
And, I mean, just pretty much everything but the ceiling in the simulator room was basic, easy upkeep.
How much clearance is there in that ceiling after we put this drop ceiling in? How much clearance is going to be in that room?
Above it?
Yeah. No, with this, how high is the ceiling going to be?
Ceiling height.
Is it 8 feet?
The
10
ceiling is going to be 8'6".
8'6". That's too low for having anything in there.
Well, then the simulator's got to go somewhere else.
Yep.
We have to abide by the fire code, and the least
And I'm
expensive
bound
way to
by
put
the fire
that
code,
ceiling in
yes.
is an
You can't have
8'6".
that a simulator and have it 8 foot tall. It doesn't work. Mine's 10 foot, and you hit a wedge in there, and it's going to hit that ceiling 15 feet from, or 10 foot from where you've hit it.
Mr. Chair, while I have the chief, could I ask a question, Rich, about the barn? I was over there the other day, and you asked David to go there and look at the inspection that was done by the chief, and we had two fire companies, electricians go over there, and they both gave bids. I think they're going to be getting to you today, or they have them already. And so I think we're what the electricians were saying and what you found are going to be repaired for a pretty nominal fee.
Good deal.
And this one electrician said, I'll give you a couple $100 off because people raised money for this place and he likes it. But and I won't make a long oratory about this, but we need to take care of infrastructure. We need to take care of fire code. We need to take care of buildings. We need to take care of
Fire
pipes.
fire
And we haven't
hydrants.
done it. I mean, I've been on the board 8 years and very little. This year is the most, since you've been here, since Rich has been here, of things that have come up, that we need to do. And that ballroom, that country club is one of the biggest things. I mean, before we get a restaurant in there, I think we should do the whole, we just heard we have quite a bit of money, or there's money available. So let's do it before and if we have to get rid of the simulator, let's do it. Let's make a decision and cut the loss and get on with it. And we need room for the people that are going to be outplaced from room A, okay? There's the Quilters Club, there's the Bridge Club, there's a lot of other things that go on in there, and they've been told they're going to have a place to go.
Well, Ken, they could go in the simulator room.
That's what I mean. But it's got to be, is it
The
going to be
Bridge
larger?
Club has already moved to the island room.
Right, and the other groups, I don't know that Sue Stilley's in, they could move into the room where the simulator is.
And
But
we
it's got-
Especially if we put a ceiling in there, it'd be nice and warm, it'd be a nice room.
Yeah. use it for a
But
meeting.
some of them don't know that, Randy, some of them don't know that, and we just need to have a plan. And the kitchen upstairs would probably, and the ballroom kitchen are things that are very expensive. And thank you for your work on it and advice. But if we're gonna do it, it's a good time to do it now. We're talking about the budget. So if we need to put a new floor in the kitchen, and if $5,000, let's put it in and let's spend it.
Well,
Let's get
we've
it
also hired a part-time,
Yeah.
a maintenance person.
Yep.
That's going to be taking care of a great
You're right.
many of these problems.
Absolutely.
So anyway, we're back on the budget again, and we've already discussed that. So any other commissioner comments?
Gary, thank you for your
May I
explanation.
make one other comment?
Sure.
On that simulator room, once that's pulled out, if you do make that a room where other people can use, we also have to be mindful of the occupancy of that room does not exceed what's allowed by that one exit door. There's only one way in, one way out of that room. So whoever we put in there, we have to make sure that they are within the occupancy.
So you can get out of there.
Yes.
How many, what's the occupancy rate now?
I had to sit down and measure it. I had to get Dave Dobrin with me on that and measure it to see what the code would allow, because there's a formula for that.
I've got square footages.
I'd have to sit down and look at the formula, because I never was good at math. I'd have to sit down and look at it. We can figure the formula is real easy. That's not a problem. Once we get the square footage, we can divide it by so much per person. We just want to make sure that we don't overload that. If there is a fire, we don't want another station nightclub where we got people trying to get out.
I don't think
And
there's more than 12 or 15 people use that room.
I think that would be something, I think just off the top of my head, I believe that'd be adequate. We just don't need like 50 or 60 people in there trying to crowd out one door.
Yeah.
So,
I don't think you'll ever have that.
good
Okay,
deal.
No.
All right, thank you.
thank you. Agenda scheduling. We got one for the 12/7, and we got one for 12/6 too, don't we? And then 12/7. And I think I heard the comment that is there another work session?
Well, we could either move the regular meeting to the 16th, which would be the third Monday, because the 23rd would be our regular meeting, and that's Christmas week.
Then we're gonna have to have this budget hearing, and then we're gonna have to have another special meeting.
Budget hearing
For
is
the budget.
12/7.
Yeah.
That's 12/7.
That's 12/7, but we're gonna have to have a meeting, after that, don't you think, to kind of clarify these things?
You want to 12/13?
Everything should be clarified on 12/7. I mean, if we're having an all-day workshop on this,
You think we'll get it done in one day?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I do, and I think then, if what Phyllis is saying, move the work session up a week and the regular meeting up a week,
Yeah.
and we can approve the budget on our regular meeting.
On December the 16th.
Yeah,
That would be the regular date.
Right.
So if we do the workshop on the 7th, are we gonna need a workshop on the 9th?
No, I wouldn't think so.
I guess we'll have to wait and see, but optimistically, no. But if we run into some snags, maybe we'll have to come back for a couple hours and finish it up, but, or we have to finish it up the day of the regular meeting on the 16th, whatever's left still hanging. But I can't see why, meeting on the 6th and the 7th, we can't get most all this done.
Well, the 6th is
6th is just gonna be a
just
swear-in.
installation.
Swearing in.
Oh, yeah, the 6th is just a swearing in. The 7th
Take a
is,
vote.
then and the 7th is with Cindy Reagan.
Yes. And we'll
There's
give-
a likelihood we'll probably need one more day after that.
Well, I'm wondering if we really do, because we haven't had hardly any discussion today. This is a regular meeting. The budget is on consideration and action to approve the budget. But we haven't had much talk about anything. We talked about fire, we talked about the ballroom, the room downstairs.
Well, I think this on the agenda today was just for the reading, right?
That's right.
It's just a formality.
It's
It
a
really
formality.
wasn't
We
gonna.
just have to get 2 readings in, so this one's just get the first one out of the way. The 6th will do the oath, which we won't be here, and then electing of officials or chairs. And then the 7th we'll be here all day with work session. And then if we need to, we can do the work session, another work session on the 9th to finalize everything. And the 16th will be the final reading of the 2025 fiscal year budget.
Yeah,
So do we need a 2-day, how much notice do we need for a work session, for publication for FOIA?
How about having,
Days?
how about having one special meeting and not have a work session in December? We haven't always had a work session every month. We have regularly this year.
I think that'd be the smart move,
Well, that's what we
Ken,
just-
because
that's what-
we're gonna
That's what we
have, we can't get this done just in one
I think
day.
that's what we said.
Yeah.
Move
Sixth,
the
seventh,
regular
ninth.
meeting to December the 16th.
So we'll do the sixth,
That's,
the seventh,
but-
the ninth.
but
and
do we
then the
need a
regular
ninth?
meeting On the 16th.
Do we need the 9th as well?
We'll have to, let's just see how.
Oh, yeah.
we'll
How
put it
how
on
the
there.
7th goes.
Yep, and we'll see how the 7th goes.
Okay.
If nothing else, we'll come in on the 9th, and we'll be like, the meeting went, or the work session went fine, do roll call, leave.
Okay.
We could all, we can, if we just call a regular, a meeting, we can make it, we can still discuss the things on the work session, about work session,
Yeah.
and we can still take care of the budget,
Right.
Let's put it on there just so it's on there, because it's easier to have it on there now than add it later.
right?
Yeah.
I agree.
Okay, now,
Okay.
let me back up here a second.
Okay.
December the 6th is a Friday, and I thought,
December the 6th will be a swearing,
Swear.
where at, okay,
the oath,
I've got you. I'm sorry. And
7th
then the
is Saturday.
7th would be
the work session.
the
with
work
Reagan.
session,
Budget.
which was supposed to be a strategic planning education
Yep,
thing, and
yep.
That's on a
instead it's a
Saturday.
budget
Yep.
to do.
And then we'll see how that goes on the 7th, and then if we have to, we can work
Okay.
on it more on the 9th, or we can come in and say that everything went great, whatever else we need to do, and the 16th we'll do our final reading and vote.
Yep, okay.
Okay.
We all
Got my
good?
days confused, huh?
Oh,
Any other further discussion on the scheduling?
Yes. Every meeting is open to the public.
I thought 8:30 we said.
The 6th will probably be a regular 9 o'clock.
It'll probably be all day, take most of the day.
No,
That's
that's
the
the 7th.
Oh, yeah, the swearing. Oh, I thought you were talking about the 7th
we-
she's talking
I need to
about.
get with Cindy, and did she say 8 or 8:30?
8.
8?
Yeah.
So the 7th will be from 8 to
Whenever.
time pending. Do we have to put an ending time on? No, we don't. Okay, so yeah, the 7th will be 8 AM,
And the 9th will be 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock, 16th will be normal 9 o'clock. Everything else will be normal time besides the 7th.
Okay, any,
Mr. Chair, last thing.
any-
There
on
won't
the
be-
agenda?
There won't be, yeah, the agenda. On that meeting with 12-7, there won't be public comment. It'll be a workshop for the board, a staff development for the Board of Commissioners.
Nothing will be cited or voted on the 7th.
Do you hear a motion for adjournment?
I'll make a motion.
Second?
Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.